Hi, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us today. Welcome to Reflections of a Caregiver on the Stress Busting Program for Family Caregivers. Today I have Jennifer Agne with me to talk about her experience with the program and her perspective on her recent experience as a caregiver participant in the Stress Busting Chronic Illness Program. Jennifer, you just recently completed the online program, and I'd like to start out by asking you a little bit about your experience. Why do you think it's important to take this class, and would you recommend this class to other caregivers?
Hi, Colette. Thank you. I definitely think this class was super helpful as I care for my own mother full-time. The program was great. We were originally scheduled to be an in-person classroom, and due to COVID, that got changed, and we ended up doing this as a Zoom group, which was amazing. So being part of the program really taught you some helpful tools as far as how to deal with stress, as well as comprehending what being a caregiver, what struggles there are, how to overcome them, and recognizing the different challenges.
Very good. Thanks, Jennifer. And you're a caregiver for your mother, is that correct?
Yes, yes. My mother has dementia, and I have been caring for her in my home for about 3 years now.
Oh, that's great. She's very blessed to be able to have a place within your home. Definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. So, Jen, what was the most helpful part of the program for you?
I think the most helpful part of the program was definitely receiving the different resources, learning about different resources that are available as a caregiver, going through all of the different aspects in terms of the different time constraints, stress that you go through, realizing what that is, being able to ask for help, and being part of the community of other caregivers within this classroom setting, although on Zoom, was helpful to share experiences, share the struggles, and really learn new strategies, I think, around being a full-time caregiver for, a loved one.
Great. Great, thanks. And so you were given resources, you said. Was one of the resources an online, like a link to the stress busting website where you could access some of the materials?
Absolutely. So we have, there is a link to a website, and on that website, there is a section for caregivers, and there's a lot of really helpful information and videos regarding some of the techniques. One of my favorites is the video on breathing exercises as far as relaxation. Definitely 4 square breathing, my favorite. Allows you to kind of reconnect, pause from maybe reacting or saying something that maybe you need to take a moment and reflect. And most definitely that was helpful even beyond just being a caregiver, working with other people, my children. Definitely the 4 square breathing was helpful. And another one of my favorites was the meditation. They do have different videos and guides, and it really guides you through going through a meditation, as well as the armchair yoga. So that was great. And what's nice about it is we can revisit those. So they are still available well beyond the class. So you can go back to them, reference them, actually participate through them, as far as you going through the different motions. So definitely helpful.
Yeah, I understand that your 9-week session ended just this week. And so now you have access to those continued resources, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So some of the videos that we went through, and they're participation type videos. So walks you through the steps, guides you through all of the different techniques. So again, that's something that you can continue to use, going forward.
Great, great. It's nice to have those resources.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So next, in what ways, if any, did participating in the program change you or the way you look at things, your perspective on dealing with stress?
Being part of the program really kind of walks you through what does this look like? What are the considerations you should really acknowledge when you are a caregiver? Giving yourself the opportunity to identify what is stressing you out. How do you change that? What can you do? What is in your control and what is not? And really how to accept and work through the things that are not. So example with that is shopping with my mom. Used to take me 10 minutes. If I take her with me, I need to plan for the fact that it's going to be a half an hour, or you can realize how that would stress you out. So really being able to take another perspective on it, to understand what you're going through is okay. It's normal. Maybe you need to let go some of the other things. And going through the class really just enlightens you that these things do exist. Other people experience them. Give yourself the grace to go through it. I believe that when you're caring for a family member, it can be a challenge. You have your role as the caregiver, running your household, but then you also have your role as that daughter, that son, that parent, sibling, whatever, whoever you might be caring for. So they're really two different roles you have, and meshing the two together, sometimes you can lose sight of what you need personally as that caregiver. So for me, taking that and having that perspective and being able to bring a little more compassion and step outside of the day-to-day, and also realize, what would it be like for my mom? What's she feeling on the other end of this? And that way you are be able to take that extra break, that extra pause, and have a little more patience and, let go of the other things. So I think going through the program, going through these different steps really makes you kind of think through those things that maybe you might not have before.
Yeah, that's a great segue to my next question, which is, what changes, if any, are you experiencing in the way that you cope with stress personally?
Sure. So I think definitely asking for help. I'm now doing that much better. Time management. But as far as asking for help, realizing that you can let go of some of the controls. So you can let somebody help you. And even though it may not be perfect to the way you would have done it, it still gets done. It's still a break. It's still getting that assistance and getting other people involved. So that's a big thing. And then also just through time management, I've now built in some different time management. Like I said, different things. So if whatever that may be, gardening, going for a walk, grocery shopping. When you're a caregiver and you have someone that you're doing this with, you have to allot the time for that. Otherwise, you have that stress, or there's that frustration if you haven't accepted what can you change, what can't you change. So for me, building some of that time in, knowing that it's going to take a little longer, really took a lot of stress out of it. What can you control, what can't you, and relying on and calling in help from some of the other people. Definitely using the strategies, the four square breathing. I've now started with the meditation, which really just helps me be healthier as a whole, which also helps me to be a better caregiver, better mom, all of those things, because it does branch out. So taking care of yourself is a real key thing with the program that they really try to teach you, is to be mindful, recognize what you're going through, take care of yourself, address these situations. How can you look at stress differently, and what can you do to combat it? And that's a big part of taking care of the caregiver.
Absolutely, absolutely. So tell me, do you think that you care for yourself differently now than before the program?
I do. I think that I allowed myself some grace. You know, you're not perfect. Nothing in this is. Um, I think taking care of myself also includes recognizing the stressors and saying, okay, how can I look at this differently? How can I approach this differently? What can I do to be better control over this? Um, and that's helped my overall. So you are working with the meditation, you're working through your breathing, you're controlling some of those other feelings that you have. So for me, being able to bring that in has been very helpful, and it just brings a calm a little bit to what you're going through. It gives you more patience when you're
Absolutely.
applying that to who you're caring for, but as well as your family, your extended family that you have to have the patience for as well.
Yes, we do. We
Yes.
do. And it's nice to hear that the strategies that you learned in the program not only are helpful with caring for your mom, but also with other situations in your life, your friends and family, your kids, being part of that sandwich generation and having to juggle so many things. I think these techniques are also beneficial for those situations as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So you just finished the Stress Busters program this week, and maybe you can share how does it feel to have connected with other caregivers in the kind of the similar situations, and do you feel like you've created a bond with them, or you feel like you have a kind of a safe hub, a place to connect with those people going forward?
Absolutely. I think that as a caregiver, I don't know that your family or people around you can really know what that means or what you're going through or the constraints that it takes, how it changes your life basically. And unless they've been a caregiver, it's hard to really embrace that and understand that. My sister can come and take my mom for a day, but that's not the same as, caring for someone 24/7. And I think that when you're part of this group, it really allows you that community and that safety place that you can talk about what are the challenges. What have you struggled with? What are the techniques that work? And it's a safe place where you don't feel like there's going to be any judgment. So throughout the program, I think as a group, we gravitated to even a more free to voice what you're going through. And there's a comfort level in knowing these people have experienced it, and you can learn from the other people in your class. Like I said, what works for them? What are their struggles? What are the challenges in a freer environment than maybe you could with people that are well-intended and well-meaning but don't really understand.
Yeah, and a free and confidential environment, if I might add. So one of our mottos and one of the guidelines we talk about in session 1, the first meeting, is kind of what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Well, what happens in Stress Busters stays in Stress Busters. So there's kind of a freeness, like you talked about, to
Right.
be able to, voice your opinions and your frustrations sometimes, and strategies and things that you might not be able to express with others.
Absolutely. A big part of participating in the program is sharing what your thoughts are as you go through the program. What are you experiencing? What is helpful? Working through with some of the strategies. And you do that as a group. And like you said, you are, that's a confidential group. That's, you rely on each other in the group to also give their opinions and their thoughts, and you learn from everyone. You learn from everybody's experiences, whether it's something you've already experienced yourself or something that potentially down the road in the future, this is what someone's going to go through. This is what this might look like. Here's how you're going to be able to really cope with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you. So that's terrific, Jen. One more question, and I was wondering if you could tell me that other resources you talked about. You were given other resources. I just want to say that I met your mother. She is just a joy and a pleasure. Your mom, Kathy, your mom, Kathy, has come to other programs that AgeGuide is now funding, and one of them is the Music and Memory Intergenerational Program. So I met your mom at the Oswego Senior Center just a few months ago, and they developed a customized playlist for her, and I was able to see the high school students delivering that headset to your mom, where she was dancing with these students and actually got up and was clogging, which I've never seen before. It was just awesome to see. And
I'm not sure
also,
what that is.
yeah, you don't know what clogging is? I guess it's an Irish dance. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But
All
she
right.
was,
Well,
yeah, they do it with clog shoes, but she was up there clogging and dancing and laughing and singing. It was such
yeah.
a joy to see. So I'm happy to know that she's been able to benefit from some of the other programs that we offer as well. And I want to encourage anyone listening, if you're caring for someone with any memory concerns, or you're a caregiver in general, for anyone, that you can take advantage of some of these programs as well. So I think you had a Tales and Travels Memories kit as well. And
Absolutely. So my mother does absolutely love music. One of the great things about that program and receiving that headset, that, like you said, the high school kids had sat with her, interviewed her. I believe that she had come once and then came back. And so the headset has all of the different genres of music and artists that she particularly specifically enjoys. And it's really a great tool, especially dealing with someone that has dementia in particular. There's different challenges with what they themselves experience, the mood swings. Sometimes they get angry, and that is really useful and helpful for them to just calm them down. It's also one of the strategies, the relaxation strategies is music. So that's really been helpful, and definitely being 100% Irish, loved the
Tales and Travels
program. She has the Ireland, and absolutely loved it. You know, it has the videos, the music, the books, and just really enjoyed kind of working through that and going through that. So definitely the programs are helpful programs that they can interact with and take away from. And so definitely will recommend and participate going forward. She absolutely loved it.
Wonderful. Well, I'm looking forward to many other programs that we're able to offer to you and other caregivers. And I just want to tell anyone who's listening, if you are a caregiver or of anyone with memory concerns, dementia, or a caregiver of anyone 60 or older, please contact me, Colette Jordan, at AgeGuide. That's cjordan@ageguide.org. And I'd be happy to talk to you more about our programs and get you connected with some of the other opportunities available for you. And I want to thank you, Jen, for taking the time out of your day to come and interview with us. And I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Absolutely, you as well. And thank you for having this program. It was really helpful and great experience.
Great. Thanks again, and have a good day.
You did it?